So there's what I want to cover today if we can, is strategies to drive leads to your website, ways to increase website lead conversion, and finally some SEO basics that you can do for your own website. So, and then a Q&A at the end for us to have a chat. But we might do some questions and answers in between as well, so that's not a problem. So firstly, strategies to drive leads to your website. I thought I'd do a PowerPoint, so it worked well. The first thing I want to talk about is obviously social media. Is anyone who uses social, what's the main social media platform that you're using at the moment?
I tend to use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Right,
same.
David? LinkedIn, and then followed by Instagram, and then I then sort of post automatically then to my Facebook page, just to sort of keep that trundling along, shall we say, and a little bit of Twitter, although Twitter has, I must admit, it's died off, even though I still regularly visit it. I'm not actively posting on there at the moment, but yeah, mainly LinkedIn and Instagram.
Yeah, I'm finding that. Go on, sorry, Simon.
Sorry, I've got Instagram, Facebook, and I've just started to dabble a little bit in YouTube.
Yeah, I interrupted on you because I already know what you're using. Yeah, so obviously social media, it's free. It's probably, LinkedIn is probably the best B2B, and as you're probably aware, to post and get leads for B2B customers. The problem with what most people are doing at the moment is that they're trying to sell what they do, rather than build a network and educate the network that's on there at the moment. So what I do and what I found that works really well is to post video, have infographics, and try and engage with every comment and post that's on there with your network. I try and put aside probably an hour a day, and I have certain KPIs that I set out. So those KPIs might be to connect to 5 people, do 5 or 6 comments on posts, because what you'll find is that you're in this little time machine where you just sit there on the internet and continually scroll, and the next thing you know, you're spending probably an hour or 2 hours on social media, and you've completely wasted your day. So I find that setting out a day, probably 7 till 8 or 8 till 9, set myself a task of, say, 5 connections, 1 post, and comment and engage with as many comments as you can within that hour, and then you crack on and do your daily job. And that's worked really well, especially communicating and engaging with posts that are already there.
You found, sorry. Have you found there's a particular day of the week that's better than others to post on?
There isn't really. You can be less, what I'd say, businessy on a Friday and weekends. Weekends are quite good, really. There's quite a lot of people that do go on there, and I've always said that you don't worry about the engagement that you're getting on your post, because people are always going to be seeing it. Because I don't engage on every post that I see, but I see a lot. So don't get caught up in that. If I post something and it's not getting any engagement, any comments, it's not, don't get caught in that. Mm-hmm. There are times where people are more likely to be on, and that's when they wake up in the morning, in the evening, and at lunch. It's changed a lot recently because people are working from home.
Yeah, that sneaky peek on LinkedIn. Well, this should be
it. Exactly, and that's why a good setting an hour aside to do that, to do what you need to do, is the best thing to do. Because I've been there, where you've just been there scrolling all day long, every hour, and then you're just wasting a lot of time. And I don't know if Simon's done the same.
On more than one occasion.
So yeah, so I'd highly recommend setting a strategy in place.
I'm probably using it a little bit not less. I tend to not try and sit on it unless during the day if I'm working or got a job, I probably won't try and touch it. But I've put a couple of posts on in the last month, and they've generated a lot of likes and interests and comments. So I've always tried to respond. But out of that, and I've had a lot of engagement, but the leads aren't coming through. I find that a lot of people that are liking it are in my network, not my clients.
It's like yours, David. Yours, because of what you do, yours needs to be it's niche, but it needs to be very visual, because majority of your clients will be very, very visual. And it kind of, you're not necessarily selling your product, you're just showing your ability to design prototypes and 3D printing and whatever you do.
Yeah.
With Simon and Natalie, it's probably more educational posts. You know, and that leads on to our next thing, which is the lead magnets, which can be posted onto social media. Best lead magnet for consultancy-based businesses are educational series, videos, articles, ebooks. There's lots of other things like guides, reports, cheat sheets, toolkit, resource lists, video training manuals, free trials, discounts, quizzes, assessments, and sales materials. The main area for your posts on LinkedIn would 100% be educational. I've done quite a lot of business from doing educational posts and providing free advice. And that's how I won Sam's business, to be honest, just doing some free logos and branding for him. So it's very much an educational based.
With coaching, I was offering some free sessions probably a couple of months ago now in lockdown, because I thought people may find that helpful to them when they're maybe reconsidering their careers and what they want to do, in the hope that it would lead to something else. But I didn't get anything from what I put on either LinkedIn or Facebook for those. Yeah,
I think the main thing with that sort of thing is that if people don't know you very well, there'll be that trust issue of, am I going on to this and am I going to be sold to?
Yes, true.
So I think there's a mixture of educational posts plus, I guess, educating them to trust you and teaching them that you know what you're doing. And coming on webinars like this will build your network, get people to trust what you do. And if I saw a post about free online coaching now, because we're on a webinar, I'm more likely to sign up to it because I've come here, I've spoken to you. So that's the thing about giving free stuff, is people are a bit wary about it, because it can be seen as though it's a ploy to win business, which is kind of what you're doing, but it's good to give that educational base. Another good creative lead magnet is obviously webinars. Simon's doing a good thing with the spotlight because it helps build his network. And over time, is it Volta Blue as well? They're doing well doing that as well, and that's created a lot of revenue for them. So you don't have to actually do your own webinar. You can organise webinars and bring guests on like Simon's done, and that helps to build your network and get leads to your website. David or Natalie, have you ever done anything?
I've been contracted by an ed tech company, and I've just delivered my first of 3 webinars in a series for them. that people can access for free, but I'm actually being paid by them to do it. So
All right, great.
I've been sharing that on my feed on LinkedIn as well, and I've noticed that some of my network are now connecting with that and liking it. So that's good.
Yeah, and the more webinars that you actually attend, the bigger network you're going to get to then send out those invites to. So
yeah,
and it, you know, you might get a slow burn where you'll get some coming, like I've got 2 people here today. Yeah. This is my first one. You know, hopefully in a few months' time there'll be more than 2, but it doesn't matter if there isn't. But yeah, and obviously with every webinar and education piece that you handle, you need irresistible headlines. Yeah. As you're aware, because everyone's scrolling down through social media, you know, you need headlines that are impactful. And as the statement says, that 8 out of 10 people who see an attractive headline will read and click it. Right, nurture your leads with email marketing is our next one.
Never going to happen. So someone asked me about this today, and I'm part of an email marketing Facebook group, sorry. And I suppose a lot of my clients essentially see me as a freelance service. Me emailing a small pool of clients, I can't see it happening at the moment, and I think that's probably my downfall, I suppose, is having quite a small client base. But
yeah,
that might grow with my new website.
Yeah, which, you know, obviously I know a lot of people don't have a big database and they won't bring on software to do email marketing, but you know, there are places for email marketing, because as long as you're not copy and pasting, it can be a part of a personal way that you talk with your clients.
Yeah.
And allow them to know what you're doing, what your plans are about your new website, about any new developments you've done, any new case studies and stuff like that. And obviously once you've captured those leads, you don't want to just leave them in your database and sat there, because, you know, it's proven that if you've got, the main thing you need to do is follow up on your leads that you get, because the first time they actually see you and talk to you, it doesn't mean that you're going to win their business. They need some nurturing of some sort.
It's a good point. And I was just thinking today, because I've just finished a series of work for a client that it's a package of virtual training that I designed and delivered for them. But now I've got that offer, you know, I really ought to leverage that, I think, and look at how I can market that to other potential clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Do you recommend any software then to help you with email marketing?
Yeah, there's MailChimp.
Yeah.
There's actually, they're down here at the moment. Let's go into the spreadsheet. HubSpot, I've used HubSpot. So if you want something free, HubSpot's good. MailChimp's really good. Simon's just signed up to that. They do a free plan.
Oh, do they?
Up to a certain amount of people. They also do autoresponders as well. So if someone signs up to a series of educational series, then you can automatically deliver all the different emails in a series.
But do people's mailboxes know that it's coming from an email marketing platform? So does it sift it out into junk or anything?
No, you can send it through your normal, as long as you set it up through your normal SMTP, it's going to go through your server, so it won't get rejected.
Okay.
Like a spam. But again, after this, if you need some advice on that, I can give that to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I know what you mean. It does go into the junk, but they're going to know it's kind of automated anyway.
Okay.
If it's a series that you're delivering.
Yeah.
So this series that this thing that you're looking at using e-marketing for, is it just a one-off email, or is it a series of?
Well, it's just that it's, you know, I suppose it's a package of well, it's just 2 virtual classroom sessions that a lot of companies would find of value right now, because it's teaching them how to design and deliver engaging virtual learning. So it's not a series as such, is it? It's just a package that I can offer to them right now.
Yeah, and that I'd link through to the actual education piece video that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So MailChimp would be definitely the one for you to look at. For that.
Okay.
So I've gone over some software. Another couple of softwares are Active Campaign and Salesforce, but they are paid for subscriptions.
Yeah.
HubSpot is a brilliant SRM. That's free as well.
And why do you recommend MailChimp over HubSpot?
MailChimp is better for a visual, so very much like, have you ever used Wix or a website builder? It basically, you can do a drag and drop design for your emails, so you don't need to be too technical about the design of the email itself. MailChimp will allow you to drag and drop logos, put in text, do links, so it's a drag and drop visual process. And also you can create forms that you can then put onto your website.
Sounds good.
And then the leads go straight into MailChimp. Technical issue, just 1 second. Right, the next one is ways to increase your website lead conversions. So we spoke briefly about getting the leads, and now we're talking about the conversion of those leads once they get to your website. So a lot of people forget to analyze how visitors interact with your website. And obviously one of the areas that are really good to do this with is Google Analytics. Has anyone got Google Analytics on their website at the moment? Yeah. Does anyone use it? Lots of shaking heads.
I might have it on there, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Now, when you first
get an app, can you get an app that sort of, so you can check it on your phone rather than having to log in on your PC?
Yeah, there's a Google Analytics app. It's not as much as in depth, but I would suggest getting to know Google Analytics and taking a look. It can be a bit overwhelming because there's just so much information, but it lets you, if you do a marketing campaign, it tells you where visitors come from. You'll know which marketing works better than others. You'll know what platforms work better than other platforms. So if you're posting out to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you'd need to know which platforms are working best for you. So you'll know where they're coming from, what devices they're using, what forms they're going on to, what forms they're filling in. Provides you bounce rates for each of the pages that your website's built on, so you know which pages are doing better than others. You'll be able to build extra pages to help reduce those bounce rates and see which ones give you a better conversion rate. Because it's all right winging leads, but you're going through so many different customer journey, and that you're finding the leads. You've got to get into your website, you've got to convert them. And so each stage needs to be perfected. And what analytics does is allow you to analyze your website and find out what your visitors are doing. Obviously, if you haven't got many visitors, there's not much to look at, but the aim is to get more visitors and do more conversions. So Google Analytics is definitely something that you need on your web page, and it helps you analyze all your data. One of the things which a lot of people are doing now is reducing their form fields. There are a lot of websites that do have form fields for taking details of visitors, and they're just way too long. So, you know, if you just keep it to your first name, last name, and the essentials of what you need from those, and that would a lot increase your conversion rates.
I just get a lot of spam from my current site, so
yeah, you'll need a capture.
Hopefully, we're going to address that. Hopefully, we'll address that.
Yeah,
on the new site.
There's several ways of doing that with a capture. The one thing I don't like is the robot capture, where you've got to choose all your different pictures. Because I always get it wrong. So, you know, when they say pick all the dogs or pick all the lampposts, and you just don't know how many to choose. So, but there's other captures that will do that for you. Show testimonials. I think Natalie, you've got them on yours, haven't you? Testimonials.
Oh yeah, have you had a look?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I think and Simon's got them. David didn't see any.
No, I've got one. I've got it's a huge part of what I've been. I can explain later on, but I've got a list of people I've approached, and I've told them a few weeks ago, even maybe a month or two ago, that I'm going to be doing a new website. I want the testimonial from them. So I've got about 10 people lined up. So I'm hoping to try and get most, if not most, all of those people to give me a few lines. So it's, you know, a case of, but I'm trying to get them to do it through a Google review and then copy and paste it from there, because then if I've got the Google review, they'll like that in the rankings.
I'll talk about that in a minute, actually. So obviously testimonials help build trust with new customers by showing them that you know what you're doing, you have a good reputation, and have happy customers. I think it's one of the biggest things about having a website is building trust, and letting know the visitor trust that you do your job and you can do it right. I think it's that, and case studies are a big part of building that trust. Oh, and keep them real. Don't do fake ones. Or put your mates on there.
Get the wife to write one.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the biggest things people forget to do is having a call to actions and getting people to either download a document or an ebook, or contact you, or request a 30-minute consultation. I think it's important that you get people onto your website, but then convert them. So having good conversion-worthy CTAs on your website is probably one of the best things you can have on there. And obviously you've got to be really creative with how you do your CTAs, rather than just do call us, call me. You've got to give them a good reason to take that next step. That normally means either a freebie of some sort, or some free advice, or some education material, or a meetup, or a Zoom, or whatever it might be. Has anyone got using CTAs on their websites at the moment?
Well, we've not on my current site, other than a contact page. But the new one is where we're going through this step-by-step process, where we talk about the brief of the project that I was involved in, the solution I provided, the outcome, and then a testimonial, and then a call to action. So it's kind of like, and we've split my services up into about 10 categories, so that will follow the process for each of the 10 categories. And then at the moment I'm creating probably onto about 7 or 8 case studies, so that'll showcase some of the work that I've done, and that'll include a call to action at the bottom for,
brilliant.
that's backed up with a testimonial.
Fantastic.
Hopefully, if I can get some, that is.
Yeah. Do you use any on yours, Natalie?
So I've got only contact me ones really, or drop us a line, or let's set up a virtual coffee. Nothing creative really, actually.
Yeah. Is there anything that you could give away, like cheat sheets?
I could give
guides and.
Yeah, the probably. I've just done an infographic actually. I could give that away, and yeah,
because I think it's good, because obviously you'll have people going onto your website, but you won't necessarily capture them, so it's a good way of capturing the details. And then
I'm just wondering what I could do, because I think this is a slight problem of mine as well. As over the last sort of 8 months, I've seen a lot of people have content they give away or a secondary sort of business, whereas mine is quite niche. I deliver a service that's not necessarily, it's bespoke, it's a design, it's so how, I suppose, the people that are on my site, obviously I think trust is the main one, and they feel that I provide the solution they want.
How about giving them a way that they can understand how you can provide prototypes at a price point so that they save a lot of money? Obviously you do a lot. Obviously at the moment they can do prototypes through 3D printing and stuff, but is there a way you can demonstrate that utilizing you saves them a lot of money long term by having a prototype done?
Yes. I don't know if sometimes people don't necessarily need a prototype. They might need a finished drawing pack. So I think that's where the case studies are crucial. So they feel, he's got the skills we want, let's give him a call. Rather than me giving away a freebie, or I don't think the people contacting me would necessarily want to download something, because I'm not.
You don't necessarily have to demonstrate your ability, because it's something visually they can see when they go on the website.
There'll be, like I say, there'll be a lot of case studies, and the service categories are really breaking down right into sort of retail furniture, point of sale, sheet metal. We're really going into the services in detail. We've got about 10 services, sort of one's retail and one's 3D CAD. So it captures the non-retail clients that I'd like to try, obviously, and widen the net.
Yeah, so you can visually give them a reason to take action because of the industry that you're in. Whereas in consultancy-based coaching, you need to provide some sort of education to make them take action.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this one I think is one of the big ones for your website, and that's to build trust. And obviously we spoke about testimonials. One of the things you need to do, obviously, visitors will leave the website if they notice anything that's shady. So, you can't say anything that you can't deliver. You can't provide details of businesses that you've done work for and that you haven't, but that, so, and you need to keep your site up to date. So any blogs or anything that you're doing, like I've been on websites where you've gone on there and the blog's been done in 1990 or what have you. And it just doesn't look right, and looks as though you don't look after your website, you don't really know what you're doing, I think you need to keep your website up to date. If you do have a blog, making sure it's up to date. If you don't have the time to do a blog, then don't leave any old blogs on there.
Pay someone to do one.
Exactly. I went on to Natalie's site, and I think it's good because you're up to date, because there's mentions of COVID on there.
There is, but I don't think I've done any blogs. I don't think I've done any blogs at all.
No, but it's relevant, because you go on there and it's relevant to what's going on at the moment, and you know, you've got the mention of COVID on there.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that. I had a phone call, a meeting with the developer on my site last week, and we touched on COVID, and I said, well, I've done some work, not a huge amount. I've done 4 or 5 sanitized stations. I did some PPE for local charity during the first lockdown, and it would be kind of nice to get that onto my site. But she also said, just be wary about having a page particular to say COVID-19, or because that could become quickly out of date. But also sort of, you don't want to be sort of using it as such, as an angle. But
yeah, I know what you mean.
So she said maybe just refer to it as PPE rather than COVID-19, or just a subtle way of referencing your work differently.
Yeah, I suppose that really depends. I suppose that depends really on how quickly you can update your website.
Yeah.
If you can only get on it occasionally, then you wouldn't put anything on there that's might only be around for a month or so. Even though COVID's going to be around for a while.
I tend to update mine quite a lot, so I've just put 2 new testimonials on this week, and I think every time I republish it, Google notices. So that's
exactly
well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously include a bio, so about us, and probably I like your site, Natalie. I can tell you've had some professional photography done.
Yeah.
I think a video on there would be great.
Do you?
Yeah, 100%. Because obviously you look very personable on there and everything, but a video would be fantastic. I think talking about what you do.
What? A video of me talking about what I do?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to try and find your site, Natalie.
I built it myself using GoDaddy, so
I noticed that. I was going to say, well done for building it in GoDaddy.
It was a steep curve, and it's had lots of iterations. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, part of building trust again is video. I haven't got one on mine. I wish I did have one, but I think it's, especially if you're a smaller business, having a video just talking about yourself and what you do goes a long way in building that trust.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what you've just been saying. There's a couple of areas on my website where I could put a freebie in terms of resource for online facilitation. I could also put a couple of infographics I could click on as a call to action as well.
Absolutely. And it's data that you're going to collect, and it's up to you then what you'd want to do with that. Obviously you need to get permission, but it's up to you whether you contact them further through emails or call them. At least, it's data that you wouldn't have if you didn't have a call to action on your website.
Do you get much leads through WhatsApp?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't had any leads through my website at all. Everything's been through LinkedIn.
I mean WhatsApp, because you've got a WhatsApp call to action using WhatsApp on your...
Yeah, I've got one of those as well. No, I haven't. I've had nothing that's come through the website generally at all, or WhatsApp. No.
Interesting.
This is another reason to have your analytics on there, so you can see is your website getting any traffic, and where are they going, and why they're going. Because you might be getting a lot of traffic, but they're just going on and not going anywhere else.
How do we add that on?
What's that? Sorry.
How do we put Google Analytics on there? What do we need to do?
I'll send you a link
Okay.
afterwards, but basically it's just a code that you put in your header of your website.
Brilliant.
GoDaddy. Yeah, again, if anyone's got any questions, it's very simple. I can show you how to do it. So you've got to have a Google account.
Yeah, I've got that.
If you Google Analytics, you log into there, set that up. Again, I can come and show you that after this session. It's not an issue.
Because GoDaddy have Insight. They have on there Insight. It's a bit different.
Oh, that would be their own analytics then. Again, I'm not quite sure about how that works, but
okay.
I'd recommend Google Analytics.
Yeah.
And it's straightforward. It's just a copy and paste some code and it tracks. Another way of building trust is a guarantee. I know Simon's recently put one on his website. And I think guarantees are great ways of demonstrating that you're confident in what you provide your clients. I know, Simon, did you say what was your guarantee again?
So my guarantee is if I don't provide the service that's been agreed within the agreed time frame, I'll work for free.
Yeah.
Until I do deliver what's expected. Now that's
and
not to say it'll be free full time.
Yeah.
But it just shows that, you know, as Darren said, I'm confident that whatever's been agreed, I can deliver.
Yeah, it takes away some of the risk in offering potential clients peace of mind and softening the way they're working with you. So I think it's a good way, especially from a consultancy-based business, and especially for the SEO services that I do, because you're not selling a physical product. You need to provide some sort of guarantee so they feel comfortable that you can provide what you're saying that you're going to provide. The hardest bit is coming up with what that guarantee is. The more compelling the guarantee, obviously, the less risk it is for them to take you on board as a client. Has anyone used power guarantees before?
No.
No.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, I think it's something I could probably look at, you know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure you'd use it in yours. You
could say that I'll, you know, it's such a fluid process design. It's difficult to pin it down sometimes if there's change on both sides or interpretations aren't quite met, and so it's a tricky one, I think.
Yeah. Natalie, do you get many clients nervous about if you can deliver what you say you're going to deliver on some of the stuff that you do?
No, I haven't had that, not yet anyway.
That's
no.
Great.
I mean, with coaching, I've got a contract in place with them anyway, so it's a clear coaching agreement. I haven't.
So you've got clear deliverables on everything that you provide.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a guarantee in itself.
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteeing those deliverables, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's it. Quality, delivering quality.
That's it.
I think that's all you can do, isn't it? I suppose.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. And one of the biggest things that I think everyone should have on their website is a live chat function. Okay.
get the bots in.
Yeah. Where do you put that?
It'll be, you can have it as a little button at the bottom of the page. So I'd recommend, I'd recommend an application called Talk, TAWK. Now, these make a huge difference to some businesses, because if anyone's got, especially if you've got quite a complex business, if anyone's got any questions there's nothing that can't beat a chat box. Even if frequently asked questions section, you just can't beat the ability to be able to talk to one instantly on chat. The only downside to chat, live chat, is that if someone tries to talk to you and you don't answer, it can have a negative effect in your business. So, but you can make it live and not live whenever you want to. But one thing to bear in mind, even though it's a great tool, you've got to make sure you're around when it is live. Otherwise, people can send you a message and you won't reply. Has anyone tried live chat before?
No.
No.
Give it a little go and see what happens. It also tells you when people go on your website. So it will ding telling you someone's on there, and you can actually post a message onto your website instantly.
It could be quite distracting if you're working, I suppose.
Yeah, but it depends if it's a good way. Yeah, it's a good way if people want to talk about what you do, in more detail or got a question. It's a good way to get them answered. I've added
a message thing onto mine.
Yeah, which is good. I noticed that. I went to see if it was a live chat, but it's a similar sort of thing, but you'd be able to chat with them instantly.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously you can direct them to different resources as well as part of that chat.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend having that, what Natalie's got then?
Yeah, for definite. But the difference is that a lot of people want answers quite instantly.
Yeah.
You know how people are quite impatient.
Yeah.
So yeah, and some people are quite lazy, so it's easier for them just to use a chat bot than pick up a phone or write an email. They'll literally just type a quick question into that chat box.
Okay.
It's free, so I'd personally try it just to see if it benefits. But like I say, with a caveat, you've got to be around when someone does click on the message. And like I say, it helps to resolve concerns and prospects quickly in an efficient way. SEO is our next bit. SEO is very, very complex, but also there's certain things that you can do that will help your website in the organic rankings. And I'll go over a few that you can do yourselves that will help. And David, I know you've got a developer doing some stuff, but you could ask them to do this sort of basic stuff anyway.
Yeah. I've got a chap called David Ross. I don't know if you've heard of him. No. I think he's quite a bit of an expert in the field, so he teaches a lot of it as well. So I've been quite fortunate to sort of
that's good.
Have him under my wing. So it's been tedious, mind-numbing, and copy and pasting for all the different services, because I've had to really spend a hell of a lot of time, and it's felt never ending. But he says once you've done it, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the content and the copy and getting it right. And that's one of the things that you should always really start with is some keyword research. And you also need to focus on about 2 to 6 relevant keywords that are relevant to the services and the business that you do. And don't really guess what keywords you're going to provide on your website, because what people put into a search box doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be different to what you think it might be. So there's different tools out there that allow you to put in different search terms and check what sorts of volumes that they provide.
Yeah.
So and it might give you a different interpretation of the different keywords that you think they are, and so you can build that within your content. A couple of keywords that are tools that are really good: Google Keyword Planner. So if with that planner you can put all your different keywords in and work out what sort of search volumes they are for each of the keywords. So for you, David, if you've got a particular service, you'll just come up with a list of 6 different keywords and then put them into the keyword planner, and you'll be able to see what sort of volumes that they give.
Yeah.
So you'll know what keywords to focus on within your content.
Yeah, I mean, one of them that sticks out to mind is technical drawings, and we went through and he found that a lot of people search for manufacturing drawings or production drawings. So there's various terms, and we had to make sure that we covered at least 2 of those terms, and they were slightly different to what I thought they were going to be. So,
exactly, yeah.
That rings.
Yes, so it's always good to use the tools, because there'll be words in there you think, actually, because you're in the industry and you know what you're doing, people might be searching for what you do in a different way. Yeah. Or using different search terms, and it could be a good volume of traffic that you're missing out on.
Yeah.
Because it's not in your content, it's not used in URLs, it's
yes.
So the 2 tools is Google Keyword Planner and SEMrush. SEMrush is a paid for. Yeah. And obviously, once you've got those set of keywords, it's always useful using it in any of your posts that you do on social media or in your blogs. Again, Sami, I know you do all your blogging. It's always worth doing a quick keyword research just to see what the keywords would be good to use in that particular blog that you're doing. And one of the biggest things is the importance of user experience on your website. So UX, have you ever heard of UX?
Yeah.
So essentially, it's the component of how successful your website is and how the user flows through your website. And I'm sure you've been on many websites that you go on, they're either really slow, they're really confusing, you don't know exactly what they do, and you just can't follow your way through and find out what they do and how you get in touch with them. So a big thing to think about is how your customer will enter your website, take action, and then leave. And obviously, the customer wants to get in there and out there as quick as possible, and so you've got to provide that solution for them to get in, get what they want, and then move on. And okay, it's all right having loads and loads of words and articles, but the biggest thing that you want to do is provide them with the trust that you can do what you want to do, and they can contact you and move on.
So I just found a slide for user experience from that digital growth, and they've got a few key items under UX, and it's like performance, usability, design aesthetics, human interaction, ergonomics, and then that's all centered around user experience. Yeah.
And it's a natural thing. We've all been on websites. We've all been on websites that we don't like, and websites that are too slow, and you'll be able to tell when you first go on your website how easy it is to flow through. And I think it's one of the key things to a website is being able to provide a good user experience for anyone that goes on there. And it keeps people engaged, and that's what you want to do. You don't want them to go on and go off, and that's why most bounce rates of most websites are 50%. A lot of the time, that's because they're going onto website, seeing quickly that you probably don't provide what they want, and they move on. But the average is 40 to 50% bounce rate, which is quite high. And obviously, a good UX helps increase your Google rankings, because Google will take into account, based on the data, how long people are on that website for and where they're going. So if your website's being hit a lot and they're on there for a long time, Google knows that's a good, relevant website. And Google uses probably over 200 different factors to rank a site with their algorithm. So, and that's one of them. Google Search Console. So Google provide a Google Search Console for you to be able to put your sitemap on. I know, David, your web designer will do this for you. Natalie, because you've done your own website, did you ever submit your sitemap to Google Search Console?
No, I don't think I submitted a sitemap. No, I didn't.
Okay. What I suggest you do, again, I can show you how to do this afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Is with your Google account, sign up to Google Search Console.
Yeah.
Hopefully on GoDaddy you would have been given a sitemap.
I don't remember seeing a sitemap, but yeah.
If not, it doesn't matter, you can get one. And then you submit that to Google Search. So basically what will happen, every time you do a change to your website, it's automatically submitted to Google. So you don't have to wait for Google to index any changes or any new pages that you might put onto your website. So Simon's putting blogs on because he doesn't have to submit that to Google, because there's already a sitemap in Google Search Console that I've set up for him.
Okay.
So that'll index really quickly.
Okay.
Next thing is, I think you've both got this, is Google My Business.
Yeah.
Which is one of the key things to have, because it's free traffic for local businesses. Have you got that? Have you got one, David?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure I did a search for yours. Let me have a quick. Are we all right for time? Well, a bit late, aren't we?
All right, so it's fine.
I have got one. Yeah.
Yeah, I found you. Yeah. Yeah, so you're both set up on that, which is perfect. The good thing, which actually you've got there, is, when you spoke about it earlier, is putting reviews on there. So Natalie, I know you've got some reviews on your website. It'd be a good idea to put them onto your Google My Business as well.
Yeah, good point.
Or ask.
You can send people a link, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So send them a link, and they'll ask them if they'd copy and paste what you've already got on your website onto there.
Okay.
And also you can get an app as well for your Google My Business. So if you ever did any events, or if there are any offers, you can also post them straight onto that Google My Business page. And then that means obviously it's been updated consistently as well.